lecture of Principle of Concrete Structure Design. In our previous lecture, we have finished few numericals of chapter number 4 and Principle of Concrete Structure Design. This is lecture number 9. And this lecture number 9, we will continue chapter number 4. Only one numerical is remaining related to a beam design, and then we will solve the new numerical and the new chapter of chapter number 5, and the chapter number 5 is completely related to the slab design. If you have any question in this chapter number 4, chapter 3, chapter 2 and chapter 1, you can ask me right now. And those students who didn't submitted their assignment number 1, today is the last date of assignment number 1. If you remember, this is your assignment number 1. Today is 22 September. Today is the last date of assignment number 1 of Principle of Concrete Structure Design. If you didn't submit it, please submit it on time. Okay. Okay, let's move towards your chapter number 4 as we have studied. Any one of you, do you have any question in the previous lecture? I have already sent you the PPT in your WeChat group. You can review it, and if you have any question, you can ask me right now. Mr. Bell, Bruce Wayne, any one of you, Miss Ariel, Noctis, any one of you, if you have any question, please ask me. Mr. Mark, do you have any question? No? Where's Mr. Charlie? Mr. Charlie, please turn on your video camera. Miss Alisa, you also. Screen, you also. Okay, please turn on your camera so that I can see you and I can communicate with you face to face. Well, any one of you, do you have any question? Again and again, I am asking you, if you have any question, you can ask me. Anything that you didn't understand and the numerical and this numerical which is showing on the screen, do you have any question, anything that you didn't understood? Mr. Bruce Wayne, do you have any question? Bruce Wayne, do you have any question? No? Okay, Miss Queen, Mr. Albert, any one of you, do you have any question? Okay, let's begin the lecture. As you know that in our previous lecture, we have designed a simply supported reinforced concrete beam, and in this question, the data which was changed, that like means dead load, live load, length of the beam, width of the beam, depth of the beam, concrete cover and diameter of the stirrups, compressive strength of concrete and yielding strength of steel, all these things were given in the question, and we need to design flexural and shear reinforcements. But right now, and that was a simply supported beam, but now we are moving towards a T-beam. What is the concept of T-beam, and what type of beam is it? Today we will study about T-beam. As you know about, it's clear by the name that a T-beam, or it can be called as T-beam, used in construction, is a load-bearing structure of reinforced concrete, wood, or metal with T-shaped cross-section. As you can see in this picture, can you see over here the cross-section of the beam? This is a beam which is continuous in A and B point. Over here you can see the cross-section of this beam is a T, the shape of T, that is the cross-section of this beam. So the top of T shape of the cross-section serves as flange. This part over here, which I am moving my cursor, this part is served as, the name of this part is flange. Okay, or a compression member and resisting compressive stresses, and this part of the T-beam is termed as web. So the slab acts as a top or flange to a beam. T-beams and inverted L-beams are shown over here. You can see this is inverted L-beam and this is T-beam, and a slope is resting on the top flange of the beam, and the top part of this beam, this is the complete slab is resting on it. Clear? Now what is the meaning of T-beam? And actually only because of the shape which is shown on this diagram, that the cross-sectional shape of the beam is showing whether it is a T-beam or inverted L-beam. So how we design it and when we will design it, so let's move towards it. What is the concept behind this T-beam? The formulas related to T-beam, all these things will be studied right now. As I told you, the effective flange width, this is the flange, this part, the upper part of the beam is termed as flange, as I told you, and the bottom part of this beam is termed as web. If I can explain on the board, then what will I say? This part will be called as web and this part will be called as flange. Clear? This bottom part, this complete part will be called as web, and this part, this upper part will be called as flange. The dimension of web is called as BW and the dimension of flange is, we call it as B or B effective. B effective or B. The dimension of this flange is termed as B effective or effective width, and the dimension of this web is termed as BW or web dimension. Clear? So As mentioned here, the thickness of the flange is termed as HF. The criteria for effective width given in ACI code 8.12 are as follows. This is the criteria. These are the three conditions that for symmetric T-beams, the effective width B shall not exceed 1/4 the span length of the beam. This is span length, you can see. This is the span length. You can see this is inverted L beam, this is inverted T beam. There is the distance between these two beams that is called as span length. Or you can say that this is also being the span between the span of the beam that is from one column to another column, like A to B. The distance between A part and the B part, that is also called as the clear span of the beam. Is for symmetric T-beams, those beams which are symmetric in nature, the effective width B shall not exceed the 1/4 of the span. The effective width B. It is clear about the effective width B. We are talking about this B. Shall not exceed the 1/4 of the span length of the beam. The overhanging slab width on either side of the beam beam width shall not exceed 8 times the thickness of the slab or go beyond 1/2 the clear distance to the next beam. It is clear from the writing that the overhanging slab width on other side of the beam web shall not exceed 8 times. This overhanging slab on the other side of the beam web shall not exceed 8 times the thickness of the slab. Clear? And the another point that is for beam, having a slab on one side only, the effective overhanging slab width shall not exceed. If the beam having a slab on only one side, like, then we can say that this is an example. If we are considering this beam, the inverted L beam, this beam have the slab only in one side. There is no slab on this another on left hand side. There is no slab on the left hand side. Only the slab which is resting on this beam, that is on the right hand side. So for beams having a slab on one side only, like inverted L beam, as I shown you in the picture, the effective overhanging slab width shall not exceed 1/12 the span length of the beam and 6 times the slab thickness or 1/2 the clear distance to the next beam. These are just about the thicknesses, that what are the limitations of these beams. And for isolated beams, if there is only isolated beam is over here, and which the flange is used only for the purpose of providing additional compressive area, the flange thickness shall not be less than 1/2 the width of the web. This flange thickness shall not be less than the 1/2 of the width of the web, and total flange width shall not be more than this. Total flange width shall not be more than 4 times the web width. Means this BW, this B effective should not be more than 4 times of BW. Clear? So all these are just the limitations we need to carry. If any beam which is following these limitations, then we can say that their beam will be considered as T beam, and the design will be same as T beam. But the strength analysis, every beam have a neutral axis. If the neutral axis of a T beam may be either in the flange or in the web, we need to find, when we are calculating the beam, we have to calculate this thing. that either a beam is located or to be said as a or to be considered as a T beam, or either it is a simply supported rectangular beam. So only one thing that we need to take in account, that is the neutral axis, that what is the location or the position of the neutral axis. For example, if this neutral axis is lying inside the flange, then the beam design will be same as you have done in example number 1 and 2. That will be the same design, it will be a rectangular beam design. But if the neutral axis is lying in the web, you can see over here, then the beam design will be same, will not be the same as the simply supported beam. It will be a design as a T beam design. Clear? As I told you, neutral axis of a T beam may be either in the flange, as you can see in this first figure, and maybe in second, and you can and the web you can see in this second picture, depending upon the proportions of cross sections, the amount of tensile steel and the strength of material. This neutral axis position is dependent on what? Proportions of cross section, amount of tensile steel, and strength of materials that we are using for the construction purpose. All these things are basically the factors on which the neutral axis position is dependent on, like either it is in flange or it is in web. If the calculated depth to the neutral axis is less than or equal to slab thickness, like HF, this HF, for example, this HF is less than or equal to the slab thickness. For example, your slab thickness is 6 inches, and this HF value is you have calculated, and this HF value is maybe 5 inches or maybe equal to exactly 6 inches, then we can say that the beam will be analyzed as a rectangular beam. If the depth to the neutral axis, that is called as HF, is less than or equal to the slab thickness, like this depth to the neutral axis is less than or equal to the slab thickness, is less than or equal to the slab thickness, then we can say that it will be, the beam will be designed as a rectangular beam. And if this neutral axis is in the web, the beam will be analyzed as original T beam, means this value of neutral axis thickness or the depth of this neutral axis is more than the value of HF, like the thickness of the slab, then we can say that this will be the design will be same as a T beam design. Clear? Well, the total nominal moment in case of T-beam analysis will be equal as, in this case we are considering T-beam as Mn1 and Mn2. The nominal moment will be considered as Mn1 and Mn2. Just consider this is the origin point, this where I am highlighting. This one moment will be generated from Mn1 will be generated from the left hand side, and Mn2 will be generated from the right hand side. Clear? So the total moment with nominal moment is equals to Mn1 plus Mn2. The force ASF Fy act with the lever arm D minus Hf by 2 to provide the nominal resisting moment Mn1, which is equals to, as you can see here, this ASF or Fy is multiply with the lever arm D minus HF by 2. This will be considered as Mn1 moment, and the additional moment Mn2 is thus provided by the forces that is mentioned here, As minus Asf Fy acting at the lever arm D minus A by 2. This will be considered as second moment. The depth of the equivalent rectangular stress block in this zone is found from horizontal equilibrium condition. This depth, as we have, if you remember, this small a is basically the depth of a compression block, which we have studied, and Whitney stress block. Did you remember that? We have studied this depth and Whitney stress block. Clear? And these formulas, you can see that ASF is basically the area of steel, D is effective depth as we have studied, HF is the thickness of the flange, Fy is the yielding stress, A is simple as a compressive stress block depth, BW is basically the width of the web, and Fc prime is basically the compressive strength. Clear? And how can we calculate ASF? The total tensile steel is divided into two parts. When the neutral axis is lying inside the web of the beam, the first part ASF will be calculated as 0.85 Fc prime B minus BW HF divided by Fy. The total nominal moment resisting is the sum of the parts, like Mn is equals to Mn1 plus Mn2, and these formulas use just this is the equation. Just put the value of Mn1 over here and Mn2 over here, you will get this equation, and this is the final equation in which we can find out the total nominal moment. Okay, and this is just the figure which is taken in account that and this figure you can see that this is neutral axis, and this neutral axis we have just divided this beam into a few parts. Like this is the shaded part showing that we have to design a T-beam. We have just split and divided this part into two parts. Like this is considered as ASF, which is the flange, the pure flange of the beam, the T-beam, and this is to be considered as the compression block, the compressive part or the compressive block of a T-beam. That's why this shows a small a, which means this is basically the depth of the compression block. Whereas this C is the compressive forces being applicable in this region. B is effective weight, this area of steel. HF is the thickness of the flange. BF is the width of this compression block. B is effective width, as I told you, and ASF is the area of steel in this case, and AS minus ASF is the area of steel in this case. Clear? Let's move towards the numerical moment capacity of given section. This is the numerical related to T-beam design. Till now, do you have any question in these formulas? Well, let's move towards numerical number 3, moment capacity of given section. Please try to understand. This is a moment capacity of given section. You need to calculate a moment capacity of a T-beam. An isolated T-beam is composed of flange 28 inches wide. Let us draw a T-beam like over here. For example, this is a T-beam. An isolated T-beam is composed of flange 28 inches wide. Means this B effective width is given that it is 28 inches. Okay, and 28 inches wide and 6 inches deep. This thickness is HF value is 6 inches. Okay, deep cast monolithically with a web of 10-inch width that extends 24 inches below. This dimension is 10 inches. Clear? Which extends 24 inches down, means this dimension is 24 inches. Okay, surface of below to produce a beam of 30-inch total depth, means 24 plus 6, so this total dimension will be equals to 30 inches. And tensile reinforcement consists of 6 number 10 bars. There are 6 bars over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There are 6 tensile reinforcement. Only tensile reinforcement. There is no compression reinforcement. The tensile reinforcement consists of 6 number 10 bars. Clear? Placed in 2 horizontal rows. As mentioned here, the centroid of the bars group is 26 inch from bottom or from top of the beam. As we can say, the centroid of these bars, this will be equals to 26 inches. It has been determined that the concrete has a compressive strength FC prime value is 3000 psi, and that the yielding stress of the steel that is equals to 60,000 psi. What we need to calculate? We need to calculate design moment capacity of this beam. We need to find out the design moment capacity. Did you understand the meaning of this numerical, Mr. Dragon? Do you have any question? Did you understand the data which is given in this numerical? By using this data, we have to solve this numerical, and what we need to find out? We will find out a design moment capacity. Do you have anything that you are not understanding in these few lines? Mr. Bruce Wayne, did you understood this data? Mr. Bell, did you understood this data? Mr. Flank, Mr. Alex, Mr. Forio, if you have any question regarding this data, please ask me. If you are not understanding any part of this data. Moment, let me summarize this numerical moment capacity of a given section. We have to, the given beam is an isolated T-beam, is composed of flange 28 inches. As you can see in this 28 inches is its flange width, 6 inches which is a deep, 10 inch is the web dimension as you can see over here, 24 inches is the depth of this web, 30 inches is the total depth of this beam, and tensile reinforcements are 6 number 10 bars which are placed in 2 horizontal rows. Clear? The centroid of these bars is 26 inches from the top of the beam. As mentioned, it has determined that the concrete has strength of 3000 psi, means Fc prime value is 3000 and Fy value is 60,000. This is given. What we need to calculate? We need to calculate design moment capacity. We need to calculate design moment capacity of this numerical. Dear students, your call will be disconnected within few seconds. Please join this meeting again. The first section, the first 40 minutes are completed here. Please join the meeting again. Any one of you, if you have any question, please ask me. Let's continue. This is an isolated T-beam with a flange width of 28 inches. The flange thickness is 6 inches. Web width is 10 inches, and it extends in the depth of 24 inches. The total depth of the beam flange plus web, that is 30 inches. Tensile reinforcement, that are 6 number 10 bars, which is placed in 2 rows, horizontal rows. The centroid of the bar group is 26 inches from the top of the beam. It has been determined that the concrete has compressive strength 3000 psi and yielding stress of steel, that is 60,000 psi. We need to calculate design moment capacity. Clear? This is the given data, and from the given data it is clear that the width of flange B or B effective is 28 inches as you can see here. Clear? Depth of the flange is 6 inches. HF is 6 inches as you can see here. Width of the beam web BW is 10 inches as you can see here. Total depth of the beam H is equals to 30 inches, which is demonstrated here. Effective depth of the beam D equals to 26 inches, which is mentioned here. You can see from the center of these 2 rows, the effective depth is 26 inches. Compressive strength of concrete Fc prime is 3000 psi and yielding strength of steel is 60,000 psi. 6 number 10 bars is available here, which is placed in 2 different rows. Okay, we need to design a moment capacity of the given section. We need to design moment capacity for this section. As I told you, first of all, we need to calculate the total area of the steel is given by 6 number 10 bars. Area of steel can be calculated by 6 number 10 bars. Number 10 bar, the size is 10 number 10 bar. As I told you before, if you remember, if the bar is number 10, what will be its diameter? Dear students, can you please tell me what will be the diameter of bar number 10? Any one of you? 1.25. Okay, 1.25 inches. How we have calculated this? Just we need to divide it by 8. This is 1.25 inches. This is the diameter. This is the diameter of the bar. Now you need to calculate the area of this bar. Area can be calculated by, as I told you, pi divided by 4, this d square or diameter square. Put this value 1.25 in this place. You will get the area. That area is equal to 1.27 inch square. Clear? Which is clear here. This is the area of one bar. There are total how many bars? 6 bars. That's why we need to multiply with 6. So the total area of the steel is 7.62 inch square. Clear? Mr. Bell, is it clear? Okay, Miss Queen, did you understand? Okay, please be responsive. The diameter, first of all, we need to calculate the area of the steel, the total area of the steel. How we need to calculate? The first of all, what you need to do? You need to find out the diameter of this 10 number bar. How can we calculate 10 divided by 8, which is equals to 1.25 inches? Put this value and the area formula. The area formula of a circular section is pi by 4 d square. This diameter which is available 1.25, put this value over here. You will get the area value that will be 1.27 inch square. Just put this value here, means this is the area of one bar. There are how many total bars? There are 6 bars in total. So that's why we have multiplied this area. 1.27 is multiplied with 6 because there are 6 bars in total. You can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 is given in this question. 6 number 10 bars. Clear? That's why I have multiplied it with 6. So the total area of steel is 7.62 inch square. Clear? Now first check the location of neutral axis. We need to find out this condition. As I told you, first of all we need to find the location of neutral axis. Either this is in the flange or either it is in the web. If it is in the flange, then our design will be a rectangular beam design. If it is in the web, then our design will be a T-beam design. And for this we have the value of HF, which is equals to 6 inches. If this A value is greater than 6, then what will happen? This means this beam will be a T-beam design. Let's find, first check the location of neutral axis. How can we check the location of neutral axis? On assumption the rectangular beam's equation may be applied as, we need to find out this equation. A is minus ASF Fy divided by 0.85 psi prime BW. At this time, just we don't have the value of ASF, so we will just calculate AS Fy divided by 0.85 psi prime BW, and the first step you need to just multiply. This is AS minus we are just using this equation over here. As I told you, area of steel multiplied by Fy divided by 0.85 Fc prime BW. Clear? AS value is also known that from this equation that it is 7.62. Clear? The AS value is 7.62. Fy value is given in the question. You can see here this is 60,000 psi, and if I want to take it in a KSI, so it will be divided by 1000. So I am just taking 60, 0.85, and this is 3000. FC prime value is 3000. So in KSI it will be 3 KSI. Clear? This FC prime value is 3 KSI, which is mentioned, and the B value of B effective value, which is also available, effective value of the flange. The effective value of this B is also available, that is given B or B effective, which is 28 inches. Clear? Just put the values and you will get the value of our depth of compression block, that is equals to 6.40 inches. This exceeds the flange thickness. What was the flange thickness? The flange thickness was 6 inches. Means if it is 6.4 inches, means the position of neutral axis is somewhat here. If the position of neutral axis is here, so we can say that this will be the design of T-beam. Clear? This exceeds the flange thickness, and so as a T-beam analysis is required. That's why the first thing that we need to calculate for T-beam design, that as I told you before, it is mentioned here. The first thing, the first formula you need to calculate for in first part, ASF. ASF can be calculated by 0.85 FC prime B minus BW HF divided by FY. FC prime value is also given in the question, that is 3 KSI. B value is also given, that is 28. BW value is given, that is 10 inches. HF value is 6 inches, and FY value is 60 KSI. Clear? Just put these values over here and you will get the answer, that is 4.59 inch square. This is FC prime, this is FY, this is B effective, and this is BW, the width of the web, and this is HF value, flange thickness value. So the ASF value will be 4.59. Then M1 formula, MN1 can be calculated by ASF FY into D minus HF by 2. So how can we calculate it? This is ASF multiplied by FY. Then this is D. D value is also given, as you can see. D minus HF by 2. This is HF 6 divided by 2, which will be 3 inches. So let me write a formula for you guys. This is ASF. This is FY. This is D. And this is HF divided by 2. Clear? Just I have put these values over here. FY value is 60, D value is 26, and HF value is 3 KSI. Okay, just so the MN1 value will be 6330 kip inch. Clear? Now we need to find out the value of MN2, but in MN2, Sorry, I was viewing a student message on WeChat group. Okay, let's continue. And then you need to find out the value of AS minus ASF. Why? Because Mn2 is equals to AS minus ASF Fy d minus A by 2. You have the value of AS, you have the value of ASF, you have the value of Fy, you have the value of D, and you have the value of A by 2. Just put the values over here and let's try to solve this Mn2. This is AS minus ASF. AS value is 7.62 as we have calculated here. Then ASF value is also available, that is 4.59. Then the final answer of this subtraction, that is 3.03. And now you can again calculate this A, small a, the depth of compression block, that is, as again you need to use this formula. Now you have the value of ASF, so that's why AS minus ASF, which is equal to 3.03, Fy is 60, Fc prime is 3, and BW is 10 inches. So just put these values here. 20, then you will get the answer. That answer is equals to 7.13 inches. Over here, this is 7.13 inches. Clear? And Mn2, the formula which we are using, this formula, this is Mn2 formula, AS minus ASF Fy d minus A by 2. Just use this formula to calculate. So this is AS minus ASF, which is 3.03, Fy value is 60, D is 26, and A by 2 is this 7.13 divided by 3.56, which is 4080 kip inches. So Mn2 value is 4080 kip inches. Now you have the value of Mn1 and Mn2. Mn1 value is 6330 and Mn2 value is 4080. Just put these values over here, so we will get the value of phi Mn, and it is clear from the table of strength reduction factor that for beam tension control member or for beam design we have to use phi equals to 0.9, and the final nominal moment, which is equals to 9370. The only one thing which is confusing, that is and this formula I am using 28 inches, and this formula I am using 10 inches. This 28 inches means B or B effective, and 10 inches means BW. This is 28 inches and this is 10 inches. For first formula I am using this value, and for second formula I am using this value. Why? Because over here and this part you can see when we are just taking in a general form, this is area of steel. We don't have ASF over here. And this first part you can see, in this first part there is only AS. That's why I am only taking B value. There is no incorporation of ASF. We are not taking ASF over here. Clear? But over here in this formula we are incorporating AS minus ASF because there is a presence of ASF, and that's why we need to use this formula exactly. And in this formula it is clearly mentioned that this is BW. BW means which is equals to 10 inches. Clear? But only one confusion that is maybe in your mind, that in this first formula we need to use the flange thickness. But in this formula, remember that we need to use the web thickness, web width, effective width of the flange and width of the web. This is only difference in this numerical. Let me summarize this numerical. This is the numerical of a moment capacity of a given section. An isolated T-beam is given in this numerical. The effective flange thickness is 28 inches. The depth of that flange thickness is 6 inches, which is monolithically with the web of 10-inch width. The web thickness is, the web width is 10 inches, and it extends or moving down, that is 24 inches. The depth of this web is 24 inches. The flange to produce a beam of 38 inches in total, means flange plus web total depth is 30 inches. 6 plus 24, which is equal to 30. Tensile reinforcement consists of 6 number 10 bars, which are placed in 2 horizontal rows, as you can see in this figure. Clear? As you can see over here, these are the 6 number 10 bars which are placed in 2 horizontal rows. The centroid of the bar group is 26 inches, means if the bars are in one line, if these bars, if the steel reinforcement is in one line like this, then your depth value, this D will be, the effective depth will be from here to here. If this line is, if these bars are in 2 lines, then your thickness value, this effective depth value will be from the center of these 2 bars, as you can see in this numerical. Clear? If it is in, if these are in 3 lines, what will be the position of yes, Mr. Dragon, can you please tell me if there are
the second line?
Yes,
in
please,
the middle. The second line in the middle.
Yes, it will be in the second line middle. Effective depth will be in the center of this bar, this center bar. So this effective depth means, effective depth is basically the centroid of these bars. So we have 2 lines, so that's why this depth value is, we have 2 lines only. So that's why this D value is in the center of these 2 bars, 2 lines. Clear? Okay. After that, 26 inches is discussed. FC prime value is 3000 psi and Fy value is 60,000 psi, which is all these values are demonstrated in this diagram. We need to calculate the moment capacity. We need to find out the moment capacity of this numerical. A total area of the steel is given by a area of steel multiplied by 6 into 1.27, which is equals to 7.62 inch square. This is the total area of the embedded steel. But how to calculate this 1.27? The bar size is number 10 bar. So number 10 divided by 8, which is equals to 1.25 inches diameter. This diameter will be used in the formula of area, the circular formula of area, that is A equals to pi by 4 d square. D means 1.25 square. So pi by 4 1.25 square, which is equals to 1.27 inch square. That, from here we have calculated 1.27 inch square. Just put this value over here. There are how many total steels embedded? It's clearly mentioned in this numerical. There are 6 number 10 bars. So that's why we have to multiply with 6. Clear? Then you can get the total value of area of steel. First, you need to find out the neutral axis. How can we calculate the neutral axis? This formula is shrinked. This formula is shrinked, and the new formula, as I told you, and this new formula, what you can do, AS FY 0.85 FC prime B effective. Okay, this is the formula which we have to use for locating the neutral axis. For neutral axis, NA means neutral axis. For locating the location of neutral axis, you need to use this formula. Okay, this formula will be used for location of neutral axis, and this formula will be used for calculation of MN2. When we are calculating MN2, we have to use this formula. Clear? Now, first we need to calculate the location of neutral axis. Location of neutral axis can be calculated by a formula which is discussed. AS value is 7.62 as we have calculated here. You can see FY value is given in the question, that is 60. 0.85 FC prime value is also available, that is 3 KSI, and B effective value is 28 inches. Just put these values, you will get the answer, that is equals to 6.40 inches. This exceeds the flange thickness, and so as T-beam analysis is required, because this 6.4 is more than flange thickness, that is 6 inches. So this is the actual position of neutral axis is this one. That's why this beam design will be a T-beam design. Clear? And then you need to move towards ASF. First of all, you need to calculate ASF. I have discussed the formula of ASF, that is 0.85 FC prime B BW HF divided by FY. This is 3, this is 28, this is 10, this is 6 inches, and this is 60. Clear? 0.85, 3, 60, 28, 10, and 6 inches. This is the value of FC prime, FY, B effective, width of the web, and thickness of the flange, which will gives you ASF. Clear? From this formula we have calculated ASF. Now you can calculate MN1. MN1 is basically ASF into FY D minus HF by 2, where ASF value is 4.59, 60 is the value of FY, 26 is the value of effective depth, and HF is calculated from 6 inches. It is taken, it is given in this question, that is 6 inches. 6 divided by 2 divided by, which is equals to 3 inches. Clear? Just put these values, you will get the answer of nominal moment 1. Clear? And then you need to calculate AS minus ASF. Why? Because we need to use this value and this formula and the formula of MN2. That's why we need to calculate it first. AS minus ASF. Clear? So AS minus ASF, which is equals to 3.03, which is already calculated. This is AS 7.62, ASF value is 4.59. (7.62) minus 4.59, which gives you the answer, that is equal to 3.03. Now you can calculate the compression block thickness. The depth of compression block can be calculated by AS minus ASF is, let me show you the formula, AS minus ASF Fy divided by 0.85 FC prime BW. So AS minus ASF, which is equals to 3.03, Fy value is 60, FC prime 3, and BW value is 10 inches. Just put these values over here. Just put these values over here and you will get the answer, that is 7.13 inches. Now you can use Mn2 formula. Mn2 formula is AS minus ASF Fy B minus A by 2. Clear? This is AS minus ASF, this is Fy, this is effective depth, and this is A by 2, which will gives you the value of nominal moment 2. How can we calculate the total nominal moment? Phi multiplied by Mn. This is phi, the strength reduction factor for tension control member. Phi value is 0.9, and Mn1 value and Mn2 value. Just add these values, multiply with 0.9, you will get the total answer of nominal moment. Clear? Do you have any question, dear students? Any one of you? I've explained this numerical 2 times so that you can easily understand it. Mr. Bruce Fan, do you have anything, any confusion? Mr. Dragon, Mr. William, do you have anything to be discussed? Mr. Bell, any question?
It's 0.9 constant.
Let me show you this value. This value comes from where? I guess I have explained it in chapter number 2. No, it may be in chapter number 3. Yeah. Can you see this? Strength reduction factors and SCI code. These are the 5 values, and beam is basically a tension control section. That's why we need to use phi equals to 0.90. Clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. For column, we need to use 0.75 when the beam with spiral reinforced. For other reinforced members, we have to use 0.65. For shear and torsion control member, we have to use 0.75. Bearing on concrete, we have to use 0.65. For post tension members, we have to use 0.85. And strut and tie models, we have to use 0.75. Now we are dealing with this member, so we will use phi equals to 0.90. Any other question? Any student? Yes, please. If you have any question, you can ask me. Yes, Alisa, if you have any question, you can ask me. Mr. Charlie, any one of you, if you have any question regarding this chapter, you can ask me. Chapter number 4 is completed here. And let me announce your project in the starting of this. This will be your term project, This is your group task, and if you don't know your group number, you can ask me. I will send you the group list, and even I have sent in your WeChat group. If you want to just open the history of the WeChat group, you can find out the list of your groups, which is created by Mr. Joe, your class monitor. The term project submission should be on 25th December, no later than that. A typical one-story building design, there are 3 spans in this way and 3 spans in this way. The total dimension of this building is 60 feet by 60 feet. 60 feet in this direction, 60 feet in this direction. FC prime for this project is 3000 psi and FI is 60,000 psi for this project. For all the members, like for columns, for beams, for footings, for slabs, you have to use 3000 and 60,000 values as FC prime and FY. The dead load for this project is 60 PSF and live load for this project is 50 PSF. Plus A means group number divided by 10. A is your group number. This is group number, not your ID number. Group number, okay? There are, I guess, 20 groups in your class. So there will be 20 group numbers. Group 1, 2, 3, up to 20. Okay? You have to use this value. Clear? 3 span of a building, 60 by 60 feet is the dimension. FC prime value is 3 KSI, FI value is 60 KSI, dead load is 60 PSF, live load is 50 PSF. Group numbers should be divided by 10, then add them with dead load plus live load. Assume rigid floors and masses lumped at floor level only. Clear? There are 16 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 16 columns, 16 footings, 8 beams. This is 1 beam, 2 beams, 3 beams, 4 beams. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are total 8 beams. Clear? Footings are also 16. Slab panels are total 9 slab panels. Clear? This will be your term project. You have to submit this project. You have to design all the project and you have to submit it on 25 December, not later than that. Any question? Your call will be disconnected automatically within few seconds. Please join it again so that I can mark your attendance. If you have any question in the meantime, please ask me regarding the project, regarding the coursework which we have studied till now. Any question? Okay, please join again. Join fast so that I can mark. Yes, Mr. Bell, Mr. Dragon, do you have any question regarding the project or regarding your coursework which we have studied till now? Mr. Fario, do you have any question?
Oh yes, and no question, Sam.
No question. If you have anything that you are not understanding, you can ask me anytime, okay? Wait for a while so that the students can join the meeting and then I will mark your attendance. Mr. Alex, do you have any question?
No, no.
Okay. Mr. Charlie, do you have any question? Anything that you didn't understand in these three numericals? Or if you have any question regarding the project, you can ask me.
No question.
Okay. Let me text it in the WeChat group so that the students can join fast, and I will mark their attendance. How many students are? Okay, wait for a while so that the students could join it, and then I will mark your attendance. In the meantime, any one of you, if you have any question, any suggestion to improve my teaching quality, please let me know. Is there any suggestion available? Miss Alisa, do you have any question or any suggestion? Very strange. Okay, 71 students are present now. I am going to mark your attendance. Please wait for a while. This is lecture number 9 of Principle of Concrete Structure Design, the remaining part of chapter number 4. If you have any question, you can ask me, and I'm taking your attendance. 72 students are present now. Yes, your attendances have been marked. If you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, you all are free from my side. Thanks for your attention. See you in the next class. Thank you, dear students. Bye-bye.